Hello, hello. It is Sunday night, and it's Matthew David. I'm here for our broadcast tonight, and I came bearing gifts. I got some good stuff for you guys. So if you're out there, just go ahead and tune in and give me a shout out. Let me know that you're here. And I'll have to apologize a little in advance. I'm on the tail end of this this little cough and all this drainage that's been coming out. So it might be a little bit present tonight with us, and that's okay. All right, well, here we go. People are coming. Hello, hello, Judy and Abel. Good to see you. Everybody else, hello. We got some hellos coming on the board. And I don't unfortunately see all your names, by the way, because it doesn't show up on my end. So if I don't call you out by first name, it's not personal. If I see your first name, I definitely will. So, all right, now people are starting to come on. And tonight we're going to talk about something very, very, very important. It's prosperity. You guys wanted prosperity. I took a poll, and the majority of people wanted prosperity. So I'm really going to drive it home for you tonight. And I like to go all the way. I like to go the extra mile. So I have a blueprint that I did for this broadcast tonight, 5 keys to an unbeatable prosperity mindset. I really want you guys to have this. So I'm going to show you how to get this blueprint so we can follow along. If you want it, you can look at it later. It's going to serve you. It's going to enrich your life. It's going to help you in many ways if you're looking at the spiritual side of things. So let me give you a post here on the board. I'm going to give you the number, and what you can do here, let me make sure this is right, is that number right there. This number, you can text 5 keys, the number 5 and then keys. Text 5 keys to that, and you will be able to, let's see if I can do this. Text this right here. You'll get this download cheat sheet. So text 5 keys to that number, and we're going to talk about this. And then at the end, I've got something, you know, every now and then I get these downloads, and God gives me like a download, and I've built companies on these downloads. I've written books, you know, like Allow and Ask Until It's Given. Whenever the inspiration comes, I surrender to it and I go with it. So I was in the studio yesterday, and I laid down 2 prosperity audio tracks. They're 432 hertz, which is the healing frequency. It's the natural harmonic of the universe. As you know, the standard music tuning these days is 440 hertz. It's not the same as 432. 432 is more pleasing to the soul. And it also is in theta brainwave. Now, the theta brainwave is important because that bypasses conscious resistance. So similar to when you're falling asleep at night, what would happen is as you drift off, you know, according to Bruce Lipton, you know, according to everybody that I've studied, you know, that's why I'm always about the brainwave. That's why I created DNA Evolve, and I've always done things to get myself into this midbrain right here. So that's where all the creation happens. The conscious human mind is the steering wheel that's not hooked up to the car. And so I want to get beyond the conscious human mind that thinks it's the thing. And I want to get into the midbrain. So the theta brainwave is going to help you get there. And these audios are fantastic. And if you look, you see that there's 28 affirmations that I put on there on the subliminals. It's in the description for the video that you're watching right now. And I have one that is just an hour-long theta track. And it's just the subliminals, like low undertones, so that it creeps in and it starts to build its own, you know, garden in your unconscious mind. And then I also have a self-guided hypnotic track. And that one's really powerful because what I do in that is I'm going to take you into designing your dream life by designing your dream day segment by segment in your consciousness in the theta brainwave, and impart to you some downloads that you can have from my personal experience. So what I did is in the theta brainwave, you can impart things to others. There is no distance, there is no space. That's all illusory. So when I was making my transformation, and I had just gone from the bedridden and bankrupt place where I was, dying with Lyme disease, and then all of a sudden 6 figures instantly, and then 7 figures, there was this magic presence of just love and grace that was just supporting me in this journey, because I stepped into faith. Well, what I did was I captured the frequency of that transmission, because everything is frequency, and then I communicate it through the theta brainwave in the audio track, so that you can have that same resonant frequency, and you can use that same transformational power for your transformation. So that's there for you, and we'll talk more about that later. So hello, everybody. We've got hello from Texas Hill. We've got some people that are present. Greeting from North Kakalaki. That's an interesting one. Hi from Minnesota. From the UK, we got people in the UK. We've got Arizona. We've got the other side of the world. We've got a lot of people here, which is good, and not too many. This is great. So let's get to our teaching, because prosperity is the issue of the day. And I want to show you how to have an unbeatable prosperity mind according to timeless spiritual wisdom, scriptural teaching, and things that work regardless of whether you're 60 years old, 22 years old, if you have a huge Instagram following, or you're like me and you have no Instagram. I want to remind you, when I made my fortune in the beginning, I didn't live near society. I didn't have a social media following. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. Nobody listened to me because I was nobody. Okay, so how did I do it? Well, because God doesn't have any problem or any competition prospering you or me or anybody who wants to use these principles. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach on them tonight, and then you're going to get the transmission and the blueprint, so you can always go back to this. And then when you take the audios, and if you want to listen to the audios, these ideas will embed themselves into the deep recesses of your unconscious, and it will bring forth of its own kind. It'll bring fruit out of its own seed. So this is going to be powerful, and let's get this started. So all right, Dennis is here. We have Las Vegas. So key number 1, I want you to remember this in key number 1, and it's on the sheet here. By the way, you can go ahead and this came down, but if you want this sheet and you're just getting on here, text 5 keys to that number right there, and you'll instantly get on your device our worksheet that we're training from today, right there. And you can follow along if you want, or you can just listen, but you'll always have it. I want you to have all of this even after the transmission is done. All right, so key number 1 is man's resources are not limited to civic, political, technological, age-related, geographical, or other circumstances. I really want you to get this, because the number 1 fear that a lot of people have is that they're not enough. Like, I'm not connected enough. Nobody listens to me. I don't have a big following. I don't have any books. I don't have anything that I've done. Why would anybody want to send me money? And all of these ideas. And the big idea in key number 1 is that you have to stand on the word of God. My resources are not limited in any capacity by any external condition. Now, if you believe that your resources are limited in any condition, that is putting up a false God. That is believing in the superstition of materialism. That is believing that there are other human minds, that there are many minds, and they're all competing with each other for a piece of the pie. You see how that works? In reality, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient means there's only one power, one presence, and one mind. So only the heathen, according to the Bible, only the heathen put up these false gods and these false idols. So what are the heathen? The world of the five senses, the world of the 666, the 6 degrees of separation through the 3 kingdoms in the human erring mind. You have no competition unless you believe you have competition. So let's get that belief off the table, because it's not true. Now, key number 2 that goes into it even more. Human error is to erect a false god of materialism, which rears its head in various forms, including the belief that minds are opposing each other in business, like your competition is out to steal your lunch, or some outer action is necessary for you to make ends meet. Do you see how people are working 2 and 3 jobs now to get by? God never intended you to be a slave like that. That's slave consciousness.
Are you feeling embarrassed and stuck because you can't focus or concentrate? I have a confession to make. I spent years unable to think clearly, like I was in a fog. I was going through the motions, running my companies, and I hated feeling groggy and mentally sluggish. I couldn't get ahead like this. It's no secret the powers that be want us dumbed down. Chemicals, fluoride, our brains are under siege, and we are experiencing lower IQs. But now there's a weapon to fight back and win. Introducing DNA Evolve, a revolutionary breakthrough in a category of cognitive enhancers called nootropics. I've been using DNA Evolve and couldn't feel better. For me, it works. It feels great to get things done again and get ahead. Try a free sample for yourself at DNAEvolveSample.com. That's DNAEvolveSample.com. Supplies are limited, so go to DNAEvolveSample.com right now.
God wants you to come under the covenant and live under grace and turn to God for all of your needs and be present to the present so you can receive God's unlimited bounty. And so these keys will help you get there. So the big idea is that God's reach is never burdened by any of these man-made ideas. This is not the truth. In fact, in 2012, 13, and most of 14, I had some pretty tremendous numbers in my businesses. I never worked more than 5 hours a week, ever. And so God put this back on my heart because, as of late, I've been doing all of this creating and writing books and this and that. And God said, Matthew, if you love this, keep doing it. And I do. But he said, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. There's no reason to do it unless you want to, because God doesn't have a need for you to prove yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to relax and allow, and to know that your true power is in your non-physical. It's in your non-material. It's in the unseen. So key number 3, this is a huge one, is the fulfillment of the law of compensation is built upon our obedience to the Lord. And the whole law can be summed up in one thing. It's to love everyone and everything and include everyone in love. Include everyone and everything in love. Now, whenever we take someone out of love and we come out of that, that is only going to hurt us. It doesn't hurt them, it hurts us. So when you take someone out of love, don't go to sleep without putting them back into love, or else something that is undesirable will come upon you. That's the whole commandment, to love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay, that's the whole commandment all in one. That's Jesus came to fulfill the law, and that was the whole law. So the compensation. So the big idea, whenever we separate anyone or any circumstance, we're breaking the harmony within ourselves. Now, here's what you have to do. You have to repent and forgive. Repent immediately and forgive everyone and everything, and most importantly, forgive yourself. It's very, very important. Forgive yourself. You have to forgive consistently, and that's, one of the reasons why I created in this book here, Ask Until It's Given. Oops, I'm all messed up. the safe touch technique. It's safe touch. It's so simple. I talked about it in my last video that I did last week or the week before. Forgive. Now, key number 4 is, the covenant, the Jacob covenant. You live under the covenant if you are living in not self-reliance, but God-reliance. And that's what the whole principle in Malachi 3:10 is the tithing principle. It's not just in Malachi, it's in Proverbs, it's in other places in the Bible. God wants you to be dependent on God, not on your own logic and your own understanding. You're not supposed to lean on your own understanding. So that understanding is based on judgment. And judgment, unfortunately, is what separates you from the blessing. So, I'd say deal with it. If you don't like the tithing principle, then if it's not coming from the right heart, don't do it, because that's a mistake. Don't ever tithe if it's not coming from the right heart. But ask God what it's going to take for you to do the following. You have to come to God from a heart place that is really all about, God, I want your love. I want to know your love, and I want to live in your love. You have to come in that place in life. If you want to be a manifesting magician and you want to make like reality bend to your every desire, reality wants to serve you because God created all for his own purposes and for the good. You have to come to God with a heart that loves God. And then you have to come to God with a heart that loves truth and wisdom. And you have to be a person that is willing to drop your judgments and to really go through the forgiving and repenting process so that you can come back into alignment. And it's really as simple as this. When you were a little child, let's imagine that you were a little child, and let's say this was your candy right here, and some other kid came and took it from you. You'd be like, oh, you took my candy. And then you'd get over it. But you would freak out right away. You'd cry. Nowadays, here's what people do. They come along and they take it, and then you logically talk yourself out of feeling something. You logically talk yourself out of this, out of feeling anything. And then what happens is, instead of feeling it, you suppress and collect it through a judgment, through an interpretation, through some reasoning, through some human erring logic. And then over time, that builds up. And then when people get older, later in life, they're so disconnected. That's a perfect word for it, disconnected. They can't feel anything, and they become rigid. They become tense, and they become angry. You notice how a lot of people are just angry the older they get? Well, anger is proof you've been defeated, and anger is what's covering up your broken heart. You're covering up grief. You're covering up a broken heart. And see, it's because you never experienced the emotional side of it. What you did was you said, oh, I've been told not to, I'm not going to cry. That's ridiculous. I'm going to be strong and I'm going to hold it in. Well, what happens is when you hold it in, you're not that smart. You see, human beings are not as smart as they think. So what happens is you take that poison and you suppress it. In the meanwhile, it's like a little radio signal, and it's constantly going like this. And it's constantly bringing those things of its own nature to you. And what happens is, because it's by its own nature toxic, it opens you up to receive what they call evil spirits. It brings those spirits to you from an external kingdom, and then they communicate to you because they're attracted to this inside of you, this pain in your heart. And what happens is your mind says, oh, look, I am you. And your mind clings to those dark spirits. And before you know it, that's what they call a possession. You're actually under the influence of a negative outer kingdom temptation. And you think that it's you. And it's not. It's never been you, because it's all started because you didn't want to feel, and to allow it to completely allow the pain to teach you, and to not run from it, not suppress it, but to allow it. All right? Very, very important. It's more important than you think. It's everything, because frequency and vibration is everything. Now, the big idea is, when it comes to prosperity and the covenant, just go to my website at MatthewDavidHurtado.com, if you want to know the 3-2-1 prosperity formula that I used when I did my complete transformation. And if it worked for someone who had Lyme disease and was dying, and I couldn't physically do much, I have a sneaking suspicion that it just might work for others as well, because it's not based on Matthew and how great Matthew is, because Matthew didn't have any of the following. He didn't have friends, didn't have money, didn't have status, didn't have skills, didn't have a hope or a prayer. I was completely without any of my wealth in my 5 senses. I was completely bankrupt, literally. Okay. And so if it worked for me, I'm suspecting it'll work for you as well. Now, number 5 is to stay present to the present. Now, here's what's interesting. This got me on a tangent because whenever I need to see something, it shows up, same as you, because the universe is always teaching us. Bruce Lipton talked about the honeymoon effect. And so the honeymoon effect is that when you're in love with someone new, the whole magic is that you are in the present moment. You don't want to miss a thing. You're with this love, and it's so exciting. You're present to the present. That's the whole key. That's the magic. It's not, see, the love is in here. It's in your inner consciousness, okay? It's in the non-physical. You know, you creating it. But what's making it magical is that you're being present to the present. You're in the blessing because you're present with God in the space between all of the phenomenon. That's how it works. That is the magic. So these are simple. These are 5 things that you can do to create an unbeatable prosperity mindset. Now, here's why they're so powerful for you. Because it removes all of the human, like egotistical vanity, this and that. I don't have to try to impress anybody, and I love that because God is no respecter of persons. I don't have to try to prove anything to you in order to be prospered. But as I give from love and as I come from prosperity, that comes back to me in kind. And so all of these keys lay out a matrix that can take you out of the Babylonian world system of slave consciousness and erring human logic and reasoning and put you back into childlike faith, where you are connected to the heart again, living from the heart in the present, and miracles will become an everyday common occurrence. Now that I've given you the transmission, you can study the sheet. And here's when the exciting thing comes. I want you to take it all the way, and I'm right there with you. I listened to this recording that I'm going to share with you and give to you now. I'm going to give you both versions, and you can use whatever version you like. You'll get a MP3 version that you can put right onto your phone if you're like me. You can take the link from your phone. You can put it right onto your desktop if you want. All I ask is just don't share it with other people. It's copywritten by me. I don't want you giving it away to others. It's for you. I don't want everybody to have it. I went to, feed the people that want to be fed in my ministry. And it's powerful. It is very, 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 very powerful. I went today on the treadmill and I ran the first couple miles, and then I said, okay, the hypnotic one with the undertones of the subliminals is only 30 minutes. So I put that on, and then I just held on and I just walked at like 4 miles an hour and just went into my little trance. And I got to tell you guys, you are going to be like just amazed at the consciousness that you're going to be able to tap into because of the 432 hertz, the theta brainwave activation. And then it's built on a spiritual, scriptural foundation of wisdom. And you see, when you come into alignment with what God's knowing to be true about you, you don't have much resistance in that, because God doesn't have any resistance to connect with you. So it's an easy connection that's made. So I want you to report back to me. And I'm not going to guarantee results. I'm not going to claim that you'll be a millionaire in, 5 weeks or whatever, but you could be. I'm not going to put a limit on you. So this is for you. So let me show you how to get it. Let me show you, without beating around the bush here, let me just show you how to get access to all this. And I'm going to go ahead and type this up. So I'm going to put that number up once again that I showed you. And this is such a great system that I've set up. It's all automated, so I don't have to do much. Here is the version with just the subliminals. So if you want the version with just the subliminals, just text the word money to that cell phone again, and instantly that MP3 download link will shoot right to your phone. And like I said, you can copy and paste it, put it on your desktop. You can put it on any device you want. I personally like to listen to it right on my phone, and I like to put headphones on because I want the full experience, the full whole brain synchronization experience, where all of those powerful suggestions can just go ahead and plant themselves in my unconscious mind and spring up into my reality. So that is right there. So this is what you want. If you want just the subliminals, I recommend you try them both because I find them both to be valuable. So let me give you the other one now. What you can do is, if you want the other one, all you have to do, same number, just text the word wealth. And you will get the hypnotic one with the subliminal undertones. And that is all available for you. And that's my gift to you this week. And it's going to carry forward. Now, here's what I recommend is I recommend you do whatever audio suits you best, or a combination of both, because they both have the subliminals. Do it for 21 days straight if you can, because this is powerful. As you go into these theta brainwaves, there are very little factors of conscious resistance to receiving these ideas. And these are prosperity ideas. So I'm going to know that this is going to be very transformative for you. And I'm doing it. I did it last night, was my first night. I've done the subliminals on the treadmill today. And I also did the both versions while I was doing it. Tonight, before I go to bed, I'm going to do both versions as I drift off, and I'm going to keep doing it. So it says not working. Okay, we got a question here. It says, hey, David, not working when texting you from Canada for whatever reason. Well, that's interesting. Have you tried the number 1 before the 608? Did you try 1-608? Try that and see if that works. Let me put that back up there and let me know if that doesn't work. I'll give you another way to do it. If you can't get these, if you can't text for some reason and it won't show up, then just do this. I'll give you my email, and you can email me. And now I don't read all of the emails that come to me. I get too many of them. I want you just to put in the subject, put down audio link, please. Put that right in the subject, audio link, please. And then tell me which one or both or whatever you want. And then when I get a chance to answer the email, I'll send it to you. If the link won't work, I'll get it. Yeah, maybe it's because you're not in the US. Maybe that's just probably what it is. So if you're not in the US and this doesn't work, just send me an email and I will send you the links for this so that you can just download them through your email. And the other thing I want to give you, with this as well, is very simple. And see, you probably already have this, but if you want to text the word allow to that number, you can have a free copy of my first #1 best-selling book, Allow. And so, maybe this is a good time to really buckle down and to really make a commitment with yourself about prosperity. You can begin to read Allow, and if you've already read it, just read it again. And what'll happen is you can go over some of these keys and then start feeding your mind at night and make it a real effort that you're gonna break through whatever barriers are there. And last but not least, if let's see here, let me put one more thing on there. Like I said, if you can't get it, just email me. Don't worry about it. Just email me. It's on here. You can watch the replay if you didn't catch the email. And go to allowuniversity.com if you're really, really serious. We already have reached our max for the workshop. It's in like less than 2 weeks. But if you want to come to the workshop and you're gung ho, just go to allowuniversity.com and watch what the workshop is about, the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop, and just know that everything that you've seen me do comes together in the culmination of a daily action playbook. Because action, when you're coming from the right place, action is really, really powerful. This thing is amazing. I mean, this keeps me on point, and maybe too much. So I probably work too much. I'm probably gonna like chill a little bit, because I don't need to. It's just exciting. So anyway, that's what I wanted to give you guys tonight. So let's answer some questions. Any questions on the board, just put them up now and we'll talk a little Q&A. Like I said, I'm gonna leave my email up while we talk for a second. And if you didn't get my email, there's the email. And I will send you the links if they don't text themselves to you. Some people are getting them because I know, because I'm hearing it come through my computer here. But if you're not, there's my email address, sealintelligence@gmail.com. And let's see what we got here. Mine took a few minutes. I got an offer. Oh, okay. Well, what'll happen is the way that this automated system works out, and it's kind of cool, is that if you respond to my thing and you write like something to me, that offer for the consultation will come up, because it's going to ask you to schedule yourself in, because I don't have time to really answer text messages all day. So if you really want to talk to me, I offer a 15-minute breakthrough for most new people that are new to my work. So I won't talk to the same person over and over and over again, because I can't just give away all of my time. I'm too busy. But for one time, for the first time, if you've never spoken to me personally, I'd love to talk to you and give you a breakthrough and an impartation like that. But do the techniques first. Don't just reach out and say, hey, help me fix my life. Do these things, and then know that most of this stuff is what I'm going to tell you to do anyway.
Listen, there are two types of people in this world. People who believe they can, and people who believe they can't. I'm pretty sure you already know who I am. You see this, MOCAINE. This is my secret. Probably you never heard of it, because you are swinging around your local coffee shop and congregate with the sheep. Bah, bah. What's wrong with you anyway? So what you waiting for? Go on MOCAINE.com and little Tony will ship you some little baggies, risk-free, to try out. You should be killing it. You should be living like me. But you ain't, right? You're missing this. This is the secret. This is the fuel to complete your mission. I'm putting powder all over the streets. I don't want to hear any more excuses, okay? You work for me now. I want you to be my customer. Go on MOCAINE.com and do the MOCAINE Miracle Morning. I'm not gonna ask you again. So good.
So that's really what it boils down to. So it took a bit, but it came through. Excellent. I'm so good. I started watching the Mike Murdoch videos, and he talks about his friendship with Trump. You think Trump is going to end the Fed Reserve? No, no, I don't. I don't think so at all. You know, that's just my personal opinion. It's just too much. It'd be too much for one person to take on. I know everybody would like to end the Fed. I myself personally believe, like Ron Paul, we should have ended the Fed a long time ago. But you have to understand, it says in the book of Proverbs that the world was handed over to Satan, okay? The world system has been handed over to Satan. So just know that you're supposed to be in the world, but not of it. And, you know, the late David Wynn Miller, in one of his last transmissions, talked about how they terminated Jesus because he was trying to touch the money system. So if you go back thousands of years and you realize that when he tried to touch the money system, he was crucified, and many people throughout history that have tried to do that, it seems to be a pattern, and that's why I don't think it's going to happen. But I could be wrong, and I'm open to it. All right, so thanks. I will be attending the workshop next month. Good. I think you're going to love it. It's going to give you tremendous value, lifetime of value in a few days. That's what we're looking for. So is Abraham Hicks' teachings in alignment with the greater plan? Part of my mind is suspicious. Well, I like some of the teaching. I'm not against it for the most part, but the thing is why why do they leave? I don't know. I read their book, Ask and It Is Given, and I used to read all that stuff when I was really not well, and for some reason it just didn't line up. It was missing something in my world. It didn't work for me. I'll just put it that way. I can't really speak on, there's value in everything. So if you find value, then it's probably good. But for myself, I haven't listened to much of their stuff in years. So what else do we have here? Any other questions? In the world, but not of it? Okay, well, guys, it doesn't need to be a long broadcast tonight. You guys have a lot to do here. Just look at this sheet and really understand what each of these keys really means to your life. And just know that every one of these keys I've put into an affirmation, into that subliminal, so that it can go ahead and it can start to bear fruit of its own kind. Because what I want for you is I want you to live in a state of peace and relaxation, and prosperity flows to you freely and easily. You're not supposed to be living in a state of anxiety, always trying to grasp after money and chase all of the things of this world. God knows of these things and brings them to you. And that's the consciousness that you can have. And I believe it can be done in 3 weeks and 21 days with this audio. I wholeheartedly believe it can. Because we don't believe the truth always, we believe what we hear. But if we are hearing the truth and then we start speaking the truth, well, that becomes something out of this world, literally. So that's where I'm coming from with this. So, all right, so we have, thanks so much for your time and for helping us. I have to take my phone in tomorrow and saying no SIM, so I won't be calling your office until later in the day. Okay, no problem. Listen, thank you. Well, guys, I hope you got value out of this. I wanted to get you here because I really wanted to bless you. Yes, they can be easily saved on your phone. I have both of them on my phone. So I have them on my phone and I listen to them right on my phone. I have a wireless set of Beats headphones. And so what I do is I just go wireless, put my phone on, and as I'm laying there at night, I put on the hypnotic version first, because that's only 30 minutes. And I go through the journey into the creating the dream day. And it was amazing because it opened up this area for me so much, this midbrain, where I could just see the whole thing around me so powerfully. And then after that, if I'm still awake, I put on the subliminals only for the next hour. And usually by that time, I'm done. I'm asleep. And that's exactly when you want to do it. So do you have to wear headphones? I don't think you have to wear headphones, but I think you could get a better experience if you have some headphones, in my personal opinion. Have you read Transurfing? Oh, that's interesting. I have heard of that, but I don't have any opinion on it right now. Maybe I will in a future update. The subliminal audio is a great idea. Thanks for the blessing. I'll be listening tonight. Awesome. I think you're going to really be blessed by it. I really do. Let's see. What else do we have? Any other questions? I can only make an emergency call. Got that. Okay. Do the audio subliminals? No, not on this one. On this one, we did not do any reverse speech at all because this one is just pretty meat and potatoes. And the one thing I've learned is what came to me was I was thinking about what to put into this. And I remembered an interview that Zach Wilde had about making music. And he says, you know, when you want to make good music, he goes, just stick to the meat and potatoes. He goes, just stick to the meat and potatoes. And I thought, you know what? If you're in a theta brainwave and you're already receptive and you're already, you know, in that flow where the minds can mingle. See, what happens in theta is I can communicate to your mind in theta and instantly transmit and impart ideas and suggestions. And these are not my ideas. You can read every idea that's on there. And if you don't like the ideas, don't listen to it, but you can read, there's nothing hidden in there. You can actually hear the subliminals. They're just really at a low level. These impartations can come right in and take hold, so I don't need to use reverse speech. I don't need to use that. You can make reverse speech yourself and listen to it, but it's not necessary. And so I stuck to the meat and potatoes, and I felt like, let's just do it this way. So let's see what else we have here. We have excellent, have the first two you did. Yeah, I have made 2 with reverse speech, and I was listening to those, and then I decided I need something new now because, you know, when the inspiration comes, it's time for something new. And I feel like this one is actually more powerful than the reverse speech one. I honestly do. And I don't have a dog in the fight because I'm not selling either one. You can take either one you want and you can listen to them. But I feel like this one is more powerful. And I feel like this one was more divinely orchestrated. It really was God just giving me this download. I sat down, I wrote the whole like hypnotic script, and I wrote the whole thing in a similar way like I wrote the book Allow, where it just came right out. It just started coming and I yielded to it. And that's how I knew that it was right. So reverse speech one was a little different because I actually had to write it and then reverse speech it. So there was a little more logic involved in that one. And whenever there's logic involved, I tend to think it's a little weaker because I'm putting my human stuff into it and I want to take human stuff out of it. And so that's my own interpretation. So God bless you. Thank you. Bless you as well. And I know this will bless you. So thank you. So powerful, exciting. All right, guys. Well, I think some of you guys are checking out, and we've gotten a lot accomplished in 40 minutes. So do your, yes, share your results. Please do. Please share the results on this wall. Please write me. Please let me know. When you let me know how things are going for you, it gives me a great, you know, way that I can, you know, put my time to use with God and say, okay, if I know this is good, how can I make it better and how can I do more? If I know something isn't working, that's great too, because I can say, you know what, let's not do that again. And we don't have to ever do that again. So that's great. Thank you for sharing.
I'm Chris with Complete Essentials. Do you want to feel your best every day? Not sure what vitamins or supplements to use? Minerals are the currency of life. Minerals are the most important fuel our bodies require. Without minerals, vitamins cannot work. Shockingly, most people are deficient because our food supply lacks what we need. Discover the fuel your body needs to get moving again and reap the life-changing benefits. Our free Mineral Secrets course, Monotomia, is the answer. Health means everything, so go to monotomia.com and get the info now.
You don't have to box breathe because in this audio, this is good. In the audio, I take you through a box breath one time, and I also use it as the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, where I'm counting to take you down into the hypnotic induction. And I only tell you to do a few rounds. So I'm not going to keep you going on it. I'm just going to ask you to do a few rounds in the beginning. And that just sets the pace to alpha before I take you into theta. So what I do is I take you flying at a high beta brainwave down to alpha and then down to theta, and then you really ride the wave of theta while the impartation is coming, designing that perfect dream day. And that was the way that it all lays out. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good night. Oh, well, last minute here, you got on late. I'll tell you what. Let me put it up one more time. So if you're still here and you got on late, let's see if I can put this up for you. So what you're going to do is, if you can text, you're going to use a text, and you're going to text this number, and you're going to text the word money to that number, and it will give you the subliminal track. That's for the subliminal track. And that is just the affirmation undertones. So you see that. And if you want I recommend you get them both. The track with the hypnotic plus subliminals, text the word wealth to the same number and you'll get it. And if you can't get the text to go through, then email me and put in the subject audio link, please, so I can actually read that email. And so that is how you're going to get these transmissions. I'd prefer if you texted it because that's automated. I don't want to have to actually physically answer a bunch of emails if I don't have to. If you can just get it and download it right onto your device like I did, that'd be much more advantageous for me. So try that first. All right. So let's see. People are still coming on. This is all new to me. I love your teachings. I have a lot of learning to catch up on. Well, what's good about learning is every step of the way, you're going to get a breakthrough, because every time you get more wisdom, you get another revelation, and that revelation changes your experience of the world. So every little bit is a nice step on that stairway to heaven, so to speak. So you're going to enjoy this process, hopefully. All right, guys, I'm going to get off and wind down and go listen to my audios and go to bed early tonight so I can rest up. I got the workshop to get ready for. So I'm probably going to take off these sessions. The week before the workshop, I'm probably not going to do any lives. I'm going to just prepare for the workshop because there's so much that goes into that. And I'll come back immediately after the workshop. So you'll see me for about another 1 or 2 live streams, and then that's going to be it. Probably one more. I'll do one more live stream on Wednesday, and that's why I wanted to leave you guys that can't make the workshop with something powerful that you can keep working on while we're gone for about a week or so. All right, love you guys. And if you missed everything, you'll be able to watch the replay instantly after this transmission. So watch the replay if you missed all of this, and you will get it right away. Take care, and God bless you.
Listen, Joey, you're wasting your time with all this secret law of attraction stuff. You've been trying to build your internet company for years. I'm tired of waiting for my cut. You know, let me tell you something. 10% of 0 is still 0, right?
I'm sorry, Don. It's just that I buy all these online courses and they never work. Then the old lady comes down on me for spending the money. I get negative and, it bothers me. That's all. It's a terrible situation. What can I do?
Listen, Joey, I'm gonna send you to the rabbi, otherwise known as the hurt man, to put to rest this cycle of sabotage. He ain't cheap, but he gets the job done. That's what matters, right? So listen here. 9, 10, 11 of November, you're going to Madison, Wisconsin.
I don't know. My wife says we got bills to pay. The kids are planning a day at the jump house. And I want to start this new ad campaign. I think it will work this time. Don, it will work. I have this feeling. Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. Look at me. Look into my eyes. You should be knocking down at least 10 grand a month for the family, but you barely scrape by. The thought of you doing more thinking just makes me nervous. And I don't like to get nervous, you know that, right? Let me give you some business sense. You're missing at least 120 grand per year for achieving your goals. And you know why? Tell me. You know why? It's because of you. You are the problem. If you keep doing the same things, you can't expect different results. You're stuck. I don't want you to be a bum.
It hurts me when you say it like that, Don. You can't just put me on the shelf. Come on. I just got some problems that need to be fixed. I'm a smart guy. I'm ambitious. I want to work. I want to make it big. That's why I'm here, Gabish, to ask for your help.
The rabbi is going to straighten you out, Joey. He's gonna take two of you into his workshop. But one ain't leaving. You feel me? He's gonna take that victim out of you and toss him into the river. I've been there. Let me tell you what I saw with my own eyes. He called Vic a lying worm, while Vic was saying he was doing things to better himself. Vic's blood rushed to his face. He was so red he became like a tomato. You know, he made him stand up and do 5 SETs, self-entrainment technique. And I saw him change. His old negative self died right there in front of me. What I saw next was beautiful. What emerged was great. For the first time I saw Vic in his power. He became a real man. I don't know how he sat down in that chair with cojones that big, but you know, it just happened. It happened like this. Boom. The rabbi has a special weapon that he's gonna bring in November, and he's gonna show you how to use it. You've got only 2 choices. Stay stuck and think yourself into more suffering, or be transformed. I highly suggest that you take option number 2 and get your paper up, Joey. Let's drink some MOCAINE and go to allowuniversity.com. And that's it. I got a VIP spot for you, Joey. Oh yeah. So what you waiting for? Come on. Drink MOCAINE, call Sabrina, and get yourself a spot and be there.
I understand, Don.
I think we both know this is the right decision, right? Of course.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. I'm gonna drink some MOCAINE.
My smart guy. My Joey, now I recognize you, finally. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. You know what? I'm gonna call Sabrina. Let me call Sabrina. For you. Hey, who's there? Oh, this is Paulie. I think he brought some MOCAINE for you. Are you ready to join the ride?